Because even when you're in a relationship, sometimes social media can be the core problem of what's wrong with the relationship, because they're, oh, why'd you like this picture? Why'd you like that picture? Why you not sharing?
1, 2, 3, fuck it.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are ya? How you doing? I never start off like that. I never asked you guys how you're doing. How are you? How has your day been going? But besides that, besides me being weird as fuck, which if you don't know by now, you should. And if you don't, you probably weird too. But welcome back to my channel, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm gonna be talking a little bit about something that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about. I know a lot of people do it. We be picking the wrong person to date, and they just be all kinds of bad, and we know we shouldn't be in the situation when we realize we in the situation, and sometimes we continue to do it, and sometimes we continue to pick the wrong person to date. A lot of people can probably relate to this, but we don't really talk about why it is that we're choosing the people that we date when they're bad for us. When they're good, it's kind of like obvious. Okay, yeah, you dating them, they're fucking amazing. Like when somebody picks me to date, it's like, of course, look at me. That was cocky, let me. But when you pick the wrong people, there has to be a reason. You don't just go into a relationship just looking to get hurt, looking to get beat, looking to be verbally abused. You don't want any of this to happen when you think about a relationship. So we're kind of just going to be pinpointing a couple of things that, in my opinion, are a lot of reasons, even my reasons, because I've definitely had some experience with picking the wrong person. And y'all know who you are. And maybe it'll help you guys realize the situation that you're in if it's not such a great relationship, or maybe prevent things from happening, or realize what you've made mistakes in the past, and of course learn and not do those again. So let's just get right into the video, guys. So I think the first thing, I think I've spoke about this in other videos, knowing your worth is so important. If you don't know your worth and you don't know what you actually deserve, that's going to be the kind of people that you're going to attract, because they're going to feed off of that. I think knowing your self-worth, especially before even getting into a relationship, is such a big thing. Make sure that you're good within yourself and you know what you deserve and what you want, so that you can identify it and identify when you're not getting those things. Know your self-worth, ladies. It is so very important. Whether it's a bad relationship or whether it's a relationship that you're not even happy in, comfortability can be such a dangerous thing. When you get comfortable in a situation, whether it's a bad relationship where you're being abused verbally, physically, or just in a relationship where maybe they're taking care of you financially, or you're just kind of comfortable with that person even if you're not happy, those are all very dangerous things. And if you just stay comfortable in the situation that you're in, you're gonna end up stuck in that situation, and the years and years, 10 years, 15 years are gonna go by, and you're gonna stay in that same situation completely unhappy. But it's comfortable and it's easy, and you don't have to start over, and it's not scary. You know what's gonna happen. It's predictable. Whatever you need to do, you just need to face that fear, whatever it is, because that's really all it is. Because when you're comfortable in a situation, you're really just fearing the unknown of what's gonna happen. Just let it go. Just let it go. Anything that is making you unhappy, or anything that is not fulfilling you in a way where you need to be fulfilled in your life right now, just let it go. Let it go, or make any adjustments that you need to in order for you to live your best life. Okay? We're all human. You know, we all have needs. We all get sexually frustrated. We all just get frustrated in general. I'm not saying that we all look for love, because some people are definitely not like that. But affection is something completely different for me than love. Affection can be anything. You can get affection from anyone, a friend, family member. You can get affection from anywhere, and affection is just nice to have. And I think the human race needs that. We are emotional creatures. So I know when we go through the motions, maybe we live a busy life, or maybe we've been single for a while because we've just been doing us, building ourselves up, and that's perfectly fine. But I know it gets to a point where, you know, you kind of need certain things, and maybe you find it in the wrong place just because you're kind of not desperate, but you need it. And so when you are working on yourself, when you have been single for maybe a little minute, or maybe you're just needing affection just in general, just make sure you're getting it from the right place. Again, know your worth, know who you're gonna spend your time on. You can't just be spending your time out on anybody, because time is valuable, okay? And time is money. Make sure who you spend your time with and who you give your affection to and who you get affection from, because that can definitely lead into just a big tumble of disaster. Sure, I think we all have our moments. Of course, we all have our days where we feel insecure. I think everybody's always gonna have insecurities about certain things, but when you know that you're at your lowest point and you're just feeling low, especially when you're going through anything, whether it was a breakup, whether it was just you and how you're feeling maybe at work, how you're feeling about your body, how you're feeling about anything, when you're feeling insecure and you know that you're at a low point, just try to stay to yourself for a while. Don't completely seclude yourself from the world and, you know, go into the depression. That's a whole nother thing. Don't do that. But like, don't try to start a whole new relationship. You have to fix yourself first. You have to bring, I feel like you have to bring your A game when it comes into a relationship, because you don't want to fill that void with another person, because really that person is never going to be able to fill that void, whether that's a bad person or just anybody. It could be even the sweetest person and they'll never be able to fill that void that you feel, because you're the only one that can fill it for you. Just make sure that you're good before you start a relationship, because sometimes you can even be the bad person in the relationship when you feel that way. So keep that in mind. I think another thing that a lot of people don't actually think about when it comes to being in any kind of relationship that's just terrible, or the kind of people that you pick, is repeating a cycle that you've witnessed growing up. A lot of people don't really think about it because, you know, you grow into your own person, you live your own lives, you get your own experiences, but sometimes there's certain things that are kind of embedded. You probably maybe don't even know that it's there, or until you realize it from whatever. But repeating a cycle that you've seen as a child, I think sometimes I think that's normal. It's not the best thing, especially when it's something negative like this, but I think it's normal. When you see certain things, it becomes the normal for you. So if you grow up seeing a abusive relationship, I know that it's become pretty common for people to kind of repeat that cycle because that's all that they know. I think you kind of have to look at yourself and evaluate yourself a little bit, because you can again end up being the bad person, where maybe your father was abusing your mom and you're a male, and so you start abusing women because that's what you've seen, or vice versa, or whatever it is, or you've seen your mom get abused and so now you're gonna get abused. So it's just a cycle, and sometimes it's not even abuse. Sometimes it's financial stability. Sometimes it's verbal abuse, or how you treat people, how you talk to people. It's all of this stuff that sometimes you won't even notice you're doing just because it's just so normal to you. So take a good look at yourself again before you start any relationship, because people can really damage other people just from, you know, little things like this. So yeah, social media, I think, plays a really big part. I don't think we've ever had healthy role model relationships for like anybody. Because back in the day, everything was very traditional. It was love, fairy tales. That's when all the princesses were coming out. The man had to rescue the woman and everything. You live a fairy tale. That I don't think is healthy either. I mean, it's nice to have a fantasy and everything's nice and peachy, but the world is evolving, and I mean, I wouldn't really want my daughter to think that way. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I don't want my daughter to think that she's some kind of princess that just sleeps all day and she waits for her prince or king or whatever to come save her. Like, no, sis, that's not how the world works. Even now, you know, everybody's kind of just living their best life. And I think social media is... it's a very positive thing and it's a very negative thing, and I don't think it helps young people or anybody in general have any kind of healthy relationships, because even when you're in a relationship, sometimes social media can be the core problem of what's wrong with the relationship, because they're, oh, why'd you like this picture, why'd you like that picture, why you not sharing me, why you not doing this and doing that. Like, social media, we're not in a relationship with social media, I'm in a relationship with you, so what you so worried about? My mouth was really dry. But yeah, social media I really think is just don't, okay? Being heartbroken is a hell of a thing. When you've gotten out of a relationship for any reason, whether it was a bad one or just something that had to end, it's gonna hurt. At some point was good, it was somebody that you did love or whatnot. Now it's over, and you kind of have to go through the motions of dealing with that and letting that go. But in the time being, when you are feeling that heartbreak, it could be a little bit of a dangerous time. You can kind of go into just a black hole of just a bunch of stuff. You can go through things about yourself. You can lose the worth that you did have, start insecurities that you'd never had before. You could just just a domino effect into trouble. This is another time where you have to be really protective and really careful of what you do with yourself and your heart, because you can actually be in maybe a bad relationship and leave that, finally leave that bad relationship, and then you go into another relationship and probably isn't the best one either, but it's better than the last one, so it looks great. But you have to be careful in those situations too, because again, you can get stuck, you can get comfortable, and you can feel like this is enough because it's not what it was before. He was beating me, but now maybe this guy just keeps calling me a bitch every day. And I can deal with being called a bitch as long as you're not putting your hands on me. No, we're not doing that. Okay? Respect is such a big thing. That's why, again, you have to know your worth. You have to know your worth. That is going to be just the main thing, because then you'll know what you can deal with and what you cannot deal with. And none of those things are what you can deal with. Nothing is good enough unless it's good enough for you. Okay? If that makes sense. Did that make sense? I hope it did. I hope you got what I was trying to say. I hope you picked up what I was trying to put down. Okay? But the bottom line to this video is just, again, know your worth. Know what you deserve. You deserve the absolute world, and it's okay to think that way. Don't think that it's cocky or that it's whatever. You are the center of your own universe, and whoever is going to enter your universe needs to go ahead and fit in properly. And if they don't, if they are disrupting your universe in any kind of negative way, then they need to go to the left, okay? We not finna deal with that, okay? So, ladies, gentlemen, I love you. I know what you are worth. You are worth more than $1 million, trillion, gabillion, gazillion dollars. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and press that like button. Donuts. I don't know what, maybe I'm thinking about donuts. I don't know. Okay, no, I'm a chubby girl. But do not forget to subscribe. Ring that bell so you don't be missing out on none of this goodness, you know what I'm saying? And if you made it all the way through to this video, go ahead and comment down a little pansy. You know, I'll be watching out for y'all. But until next time, guys. I felt a little cute for a second.